here with more. He's the author of the upcoming book, Beyond Biden, Rebuilding the America We Love. And boy, it can't happen fast enough. Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. You know, I'm watching the infighting and the civil war within the Democratic Party. If it wasn't so serious, I would enjoy the fight because, Democrats want to kill each other. Scorpions in a brandy glass, I'm fine with that. But the reality is this is so dangerous, so destructive on so many different levels, from inflation to the high cost of energy, that it actually scares me. And the number is so high.
Well, look, I mean, it should scare you. This is an effort by big government socialists to profoundly change America. Even Joe Manchin has said in the last 24 hours, he doesn't want to change America. And then although he's a Democrat, he said this bill is designed to profoundly change America, to create a welfare dependency. And I think it has stunned him as a West Virginian how far they've gone. I think the people need to realize this is not an accident. These people are determined to take your money to rebuild your country with them in control. And you see it right now in the fight over vaccines, when school teachers are being fired, nurses are being fired, policemen are being fired. Do we really want more big government bureaucracies led by politicians totally out of touch with reality? And I think, Sean, you're exactly on target here. Everybody watching tonight should call their congressmen, their senators, and demand that they stop these bills. It looks right now like Senator Sinema in Arizona and Senator Manchin are going to stop the bill in the Senate. It looks right now, it may change, but like the left wing of the Democratic Party, there's going to be an open rebellion in the House before the end of the week. If all of that comes together, then these bills will collapse of their own weight. We did a poll in a project we're doing called the American Majority Project. And let me just say, only 1 out of every 6 Americans, 1 out of 6, favors big government socialism.
Okay, so the New Deal of FDR, Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, lofty ideas. I can understand, because it's been tried in many countries, many forms, many names, socialism, communism, redistributionism, whatever. And it always ends the same way. I put this in my last book that I wrote before the election, and that is Socialism's History of Failure. And in the name of false security, the guarantee of everything, people are willing to give up their freedom, and I don't have to worry about anything. My government's going to provide. Now, it sounds appealing. You'll never have any stress in your life. But aren't these the same people that promised that you would keep your doctor plan and save money? And millions lost their doctors and plans, and we all pay 250% more? Aren't these the same Democrats that have destroyed our public school system? The same people that can't keep their cities safe and secure, that don't believe in law and order? You know, my question then, therefore, is based on their horrific track record, why are so many people caught up in the false hope and promises that everything is going to be free? We'll just steal it from the other guy.
Look, I don't think you can explain what's happened to America without looking at the news media. The effort by the elite media to not cover everything that's going on, to protect Joe Biden, to protect the Democrats. You know, when you go out and you start looking and you begin to realize, first of all, I just want to say, the best country in the world by definition is the United States for a practical reason. Where do people try to get in? You see a big crowd getting into Russia? You see a big crowd getting into China? No. People want to come here because up till now, we've avoided big government socialism. We've had freedom. We've had entrepreneurship. We've created wealth. People are dramatically better off in America. And it's a strange thing that the left wing of the Democratic Party is committed to making us as sick as Venezuela or Zimbabwe or some of the European countries with systems that don't work. I mean, you go out and you look, and all these big bureaucracies are hopelessly incompetent. They need to be much smaller, much more effective, much better run. And why we would give them, with all of their failures, this kind of money, I think tells you how ideologically driven the big socialist Democrats are. And virtually all of them, with the possible exception of Manchin and Sinema, virtually all of them are committed to higher taxes, bigger government, more control over your life. And this is a real fight, I think, over the very nature of America and what kind of country our children and grandchildren are going to live in.
All right, so let me ask you this. Maybe I'm not giving Manchin and Sinema enough credit, but 1.5 trillion on top of all of the trillions we've already spent. Okay, that's if you add the 1.2 to it, well, that's 2.7. Then you add the 600 billion. You know, now we're over 3 trillion. 2019, we only spent 4.4. This is on top of all the COVID money. I don't think it ever comes a time when you get to pay that money back. You were the last person as Speaker to balance a budget, and you did it by managing the growth of government. Remember Medicare, 7% increase every year for 7 years, and they were screaming it was a cut, even though you were increasing it 7% a year, just lowering the rate of increase?
Look, let me say, first of all, if we had a Republican
back
Congress
memories, I know,
and
right?
a Republican president, yeah. But I'm just saying, if we had a serious Republican Congress and a serious Republican president, we'd be back to a balanced budget in 5 to 7 years, because there's so much waste, so much incompetence in the current bureaucracies. You could get rid of huge chunks, and they would actually work better, not worse. There are 240,000 people in the Department of Homeland Security. That's inconceivable. You know, I'll give you a good example on the border. If we went back to the Trump model of the border and allowed the Border Patrol to actually do its job, we would dramatically cut the number of people illegally coming into the United States within 48 hours. So I'm an optimist, not with the current gang, because the current gang, they want illegal immigrants to come in. And you'll notice, by the way, in California and Vermont, they're starting to allow illegal immigrants to vote. Now, that tells you part of the Democratic Party's model. They can't win with regular Americans. They sure can't win with people who come here legally from these countries, because almost every person I meet who's come from a foreign country legally will say to you, this is what I got away from. I don't want these guys to be in charge. And I think that we could fix it, but we're never going to fix it if the big government socialists are in charge.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, great to have you back. Thank you for your analysis, as always. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.